watching Trade of the Week with me, Ntaoleng Lechela. This week, Sanlam, Boxer and Shoprite are up for analysis. Rob Pietropaolo, co-head of trading at Unum Capital, joins us with his analysis of these counters. Rob, thank you so much for your time today. Let's start in the financial services with a look at Sanlam. Fundamentals look good. That balance sheet is strong. What does the technical picture look like?
Well, they pretty much tell the same story.
Okay.
If we just look at the price action over the last few months, if I just show you this channel that's created a beautiful little uptrend since October.
Okay.
And sneakily just going up and sort of minding its own business.
Does that date back to the deal with 91 or?
No, not at
Okay.
all. I think this is just price action based on the company's fundamentals. So we can see a very nice, strong uptrend that has been in place since October last year. Very definite channel, and the recent sort of pullback we can see there over the last few days, I think that's probably just some profit taking.
Okay.
To get us back to sort of a support line. And that channel does coincide, as I've shown on the screen there, with a 50-day moving average. So I think the stock does start to get some more buying support if the trend is in place. And as we always say in technical analysis, the trend is your friend, and at the moment the trend is quite friendly. So this, to me, is a very good opportunity to start showing some interest in Sanlam for possibly newer highs. If we just look at the recent profit taking, we can see that it's hit sort of these oversold levels as money's come off the table, and I do think this is probably a new buying opportunity, and let's be honest, buying opportunities in the current market have been very hard to come by.
Exactly, especially when looking at those South African equities, right?
That's right, and I suppose the only playground at the moment has been in your PGMs and your gold stock. So I was trying to think a little bit out the box and try and cut out that volatility, because it can get crazy. Look, the short-term traders love trading inside that volatility, but every now and then you need to make a sensible trade as well. So in terms of Sanlam, where I see the opportunity, it closed yesterday just above 100 Rand, 100 Rand and 56 cents. And bouncing, I think, off this trend line would be quite a supportive area to look at buying, and support on that channel, as well as the 50-day moving average, I peg at around 99 Rand. This morning, Sanlam did dip below 100 Rand.
Okay.
So for me, that would have been the opportunity to get in. So for a sort of short to medium term trade, and if we stay inside this channel, I think there's about 10-11% to be made on the stock in the short term. And if you're really patient from an equities point of view, I think there are new highs on the horizon for the stock. But at the moment, for the shorter term traders, I mean, this is called Trade of the Week, not Trade of the Year.
I was about to ask you whether there is a case for the long term, but I hear you saying that there's a good case for the short to the medium term.
Absolutely. I do think Sanlam is a holding stock, but for the shorter term traders, this is an opportunity, and sort of just trade within this channel. It's not rocket science, and the minute the share price breaks out either side of the channel, that'll give you a next signal of what's going to happen. So the first stock pick for the week would be to try and get Sanlam as close to 99 Rand as possible. We might see it this afternoon, sort of just before the US market opens, and it also depends what the currency does. But I do think if you can pick it up at around 99 Rand, set your take profit at 110 Rand for about a 10.5-11% gain, I think that's good going, especially from a leveraged basis, as most short-term traders trade. And the stop loss is also a no-brainer. A break of that channel, you just put your stop loss just outside of that at 96 Rand.
Okay.
And a break of 96 Rand would probably signal that there's a little bit more downside to go. So just keep it safe, keep it neat and tidy, and stick to the rules, and I think you can make your 10 or 11%. I mean,
looking at a potential gain of 10 to 11% outside of PGMs is quite good, if you ask me.
Yeah, I know, but I think clients are getting greedy now, because they're getting these massive returns on the golds and the PGMs. You know, how long that lasts, nobody knows. So
That's
I think this is just a little bit more of a calmer trade, and you can sleep at night not having to worry what your stock's going to do overnight.
Listen, I'm sure all the gold and PGM holders couldn't sleep last week. They woke up to a massive surprise, but things have calmed down. Right. Sticking with those SA Inc. stock, let's look at your next pick in the retail sector. sector, that is Boxer. And the amount of questions we get about this stock is quite crazy, especially just looking at the volatile share price movement. So I'm glad you're covering it. You can take us through what the technical analysis looks like.
Well, it hasn't really been volatile at all. If you just look at the price action sort of going also back to around October last year, yes,
Okay.
It did start coming down. They did have a trading update. It's systematically going down, but you can see on the screen sort of between those highs and the lows there's really a 10 Rand sort of movement in the price.
It's been between that 70, 80 Rand.
That's right.
band.
And yesterday's price action gives you exactly that opportunity all over again. Now, Boxer is down in sympathy today. Last night, Pick n Pay very cheekily posted their trading update after market close.
They always do that.
And traders and investors don't like that. So the stock duly getting punished this morning. And Boxer sort of, and most of the other retailers also coming down in sympathy, I suppose,
Okay.
a little bit. So this is also another opportunity. Today's a great one to get into Boxer. But just looking at yesterday's price action alone, we saw this massive reversal throughout the day. So it gapped down low, opened at the low, and then managed to close positive for the afternoon. Obviously, we didn't know that Pick n Pay was going to drop their results after the market closed. But that is a very strong reversal for a day's trade. Sort of had a 2 Rand 50 swing on the share price, and it bounced exactly off that 200-day moving average, which I found as support in any event. So looking at the stock, look, it has reached oversold levels. It is down 2.5% today, so a golden opportunity for any of the viewers to have a nibble at the stock also in the short term. And again, we're not looking for too much, and we don't want too much noise. So the trade that I'm looking at is if it continues this pattern. So I've just given you that yellow curve of what I'm expecting to happen for the stock. Hopefully it completes that sort of rounding bottom scenario. As I said, the stock has been hitting oversold levels, but these big reversals that we saw yesterday, and I think it was last Friday, also closing well up off the lows, it's quite a good signal that you could be getting into the stock. I know also this morning Boxer did go below 71 Rand.
Oh.
So the stock pick was based on yesterday's close.
Okay.
So I pegged the buying level just so you don't miss out at 71. And I'm sure you could have picked it up at about 70 Rand 50, 70 Rand 60 this morning. But 71 is safe enough for me because we've got a stop loss in place. So I've got no doubt that Boxer again tests that upper level at 78 Rand 50 with a stop loss. Not getting too greedy, just 2 Rand 50 downside is probably my risk tolerance on this one. Once it breaks that 70 level, well then we're probably going down to about 65 Rand. So you don't want to be caught in that if you're on the long side. And again, another 10.5% gain in the short to medium term without too much volatility and too much noise. I think also this was a good one to wait for, and you'll probably see a similar story on the next stock pick. So again, I expect 78 Rand at least for Boxer in the next sort of 2 weeks.
And talking about your next pick, I mean, these retailers haven't been faring well. You look at some of the trading updates we've received over the past 2 weeks ago, whether it's a grocer, whether it's a clothing retailer, whether it's even a defensive retailer like Clicks. It does seem like consumers are under pressure and the fundamentals seem to be shifting.
There's no doubt that the consumer's been under pressure, and the consumer's been under pressure for a long time. So that has to wash out. I think the market was also disappointed when we didn't get an interest rate cut, because that would have helped the consumer too. But what we're seeing coming out of the retailers is, look, they've managed to tough it out. Investors do get greedy. They want those returns. They want growth on their investments. And I think that tide is probably slowly starting to turn, and we'll start seeing these retailers starting to shine as the economy gets better and there's a little bit of ease for the consumer.
Just out of interest, right, especially when it comes to the food retailers, we'll move on to Shoprite in just a sec. There's been some sort of concern around margin protection, because we are seeing lower food inflation and we are seeing some of these retailers, the likes of a Boxer and a Shoprite, sort of stomaching the price increases because of a cash-conscious consumer. How are they just balancing those risks? I'm just wondering in terms of protecting margins as a discount retailer as well.
Well, I mean, that's a tale of two retailers. I mean, Shoprite are extremely good at that. They've got a lot of cash. And then you look at Pick n Pay, they were not good at that. And they posted another, 590 odd million rand loss last night. So that's tough, and it's going to take a lot for the likes of Pick n Pay and Spar to catch up. But Shoprite just managed to do it right at the right time. They've spent the money that they needed to spend when you look at their delivery services online and all that stuff. So they have the privilege of sitting on a lot of cash that they can carry this for a quarter or two.
Yeah.
And obviously expansion is top of mind for them because they're eating everybody's breakfast.
Yeah, I mean, every time you get numbers from them, all you hear is market share gains. Let's move right on to Shoprite then. This was a stock you picked last year in July, if I'm not mistaken. Anything sticking out that's making you look at it again?
But how wrong was I? So again, you know, a sign of the times, consumer pressure. They also did fork out a lot of cash on expansion, and that did squeeze margins. It's been a patient trade, but if we look at the price action now, look, all the retailers came down.
Yeah.
Shoprite system, it did try and have these little recovery bounces, but the price at the moment starts piquing my interest. Just a few observations, and this is one of those trades that you wait for. This is not one that I would be chasing, but we are getting close. This the stock closed just above 161 Rand last night, and then this morning it dipped to, I think it was just below 260, and there's a massive support level at around 250 Rand. That's where the massive spike downs came in, and then accumulation started happening from investors, institutions, traders, where they start seeing value. If we just look at the bottom of the screen there, those stochastics and the RSI, they are still looking a little bit weak. So this is one that you do need to wait for. Look, if it bounces from here, the market will tell you when you can get back in.
Yeah.
But for me, it's still not strong enough to have a go at 260. So I'd be waiting for a little bit lower, and I'll show you why. So very definite accumulation zone and support at around 250 Rand. And that is, for me, the sweet spot now for Shoprite. I don't see it going lower. But for the stock pick this week, I'd like to buy it as close to 250 as possible. Whether we get to 250, I don't know, but that's going to be close. I might pay up 1 or 2 Rand just so that I don't miss out, but that's a very significant level. And yeah, it has been weak for a while. But a 10 Rand stop loss gives you enough room for maneuver. But then I do think Shoprite makes an effort to test that 200-day moving average at around 275, 276 Rand. Because yes, it's been weak, and the price action has told you that. The trend has been down. But I do think we have to just wait and see what the price action is like at 250. If it bounces off that level, then you close your eyes and you buy it. I think we hit 270, 280.
Could there be a particular catalyst to push that share price higher? I mean, we've already seen the trading update, so we know what the numbers could likely look like.
Look, when you're trading price action, you can't preempt any kind of catalyst.
Okay.
The catalyst will present itself. And again, the price will tell you what to do.
Okay.
So if we see sort of another price implosion, then you obviously stay away. But a strong reversal, as we saw like with Boxer yesterday, off that 250 level, then I think you can hold it for 280. I think Shoprite's stronger than what the price reflects.
All right then, Rob, let's leave it there. Thank you so much for your time and taking us through those picks. That was Rob Pietropaolo, co-head of trading at Unum Capital. And that's all for this week's Trade of the Week, but stay tuned for lots more coming up right here on Business Day TV.